Okay, so today we're going from Hay River to Yellowknife in northern Canada on a route which is featured in the show Ice Pilots. And we're going to be on a DC3 as well, a aircraft basically manufactured from 1936 to 1942. And yeah, so it's a World War II era aircraft, and the show is basically, yeah, I said it's called Ice Pilots. For anyone who hasn't seen it, I'll explain it a little bit in a little bit more detail once we're airborne. As you can see, it's a propeller-driven aircraft. It's not something we often do here, so it's something a little bit different. This would usually be covered in snow, but I want to fly in a bit clear skies today, so yeah, we'll be doing that. Trying to build that speed up, it doesn't want to go. The takeoff might be a bit mad here, but we're going to go and do it anyway. Run out of runway. That's how the real Ice Pilots sort of feel. Okay. So, let's try to fire us towards our destination, which is, I believe, Yellowknife. So we started off in Hay River, in northern Canada. Usually, yeah, I mean, like I said, this is often covered in snow. I mean, in the summer, I guess it'd look like this, but I mean, a good majority of the year, yeah, it'd be a blanket of snow. I just want to get us in the right direction, because it looks as though we going the wrong way. What have I done here? Okay, right, so that looks a bit better. So yeah, anyone who hasn't seen Ice Pilots, the TV show, I'm just going to explain it. Basically, it's about an airline in northern Canada who do routes like this. They go to really, really sort of far out locations in Canada that are really difficult to get to, places you probably wouldn't be able to get to by road or any other sort of means of transportation. Especially in the winter times. Imagine this all being snowed over. So yeah, they go to places like that. But what's the other thing? I mean, the airline itself is quite unique in the sense that it takes on pilots that have come out of like the training school or whatever, and they're struggling to get a job with a major airline, Canadian Air or whoever. So the owner he takes these young pilots on, but first you don't start, even if you're a qualified pilot coming straight out, you don't start as a pilot. You start off as like a ramp hand, so you'll be preparing the planes, you'll be you'll be loading them, things like that, driving like the cargo around Yellowknife, and then eventually you work your way up to like a flight attendant, and then I think you occasionally get stick time before becoming an actual pilot. But basically, it's for young pilots to kind of get their hours up, and you're flying older sort of aircrafts like this. And I'm just going to look, see what else they've got. Stuff like, yeah, I mean, they've got like Douglas C-47, C-54s, a couple of DC3s, a DC6, an Electra. That was like that was like the newest aircraft. I mean, that was made in I think there's like 1957 they were made. But yeah, Buffalo using them. They use it just generally old, very, very old aircraft. That's kind of, I guess that's a way to sort of keep costs down and things. But the show generally follows a few characters. So it follows young pilots coming up. It follows the owner. He's a bit, yeah, I mean, he's quite grouchy. Yeah, and he's a pilot himself as well. So I think he originally was this airline. I think he originally was a pilot, but then he bought it off the old owner and turned it into what is now, I guess, quite a successful business. And yeah, they're still flying to this day, actually. But they've had it's an amazing look at things, the whole show, because they go from what was I going to say? Yeah, I mean they show like the incidents in midair. I mean, these planes are always breaking down and stuff, and there was an engine fire in one episode, I think, and they managed to like put it out. And there's always they're always breaking down in like sort of remote locations. I mean, I'm talking arse end of nowhere sort of places. And yeah, I mean they've got a lot of skilled mechanics and things like that. But one thing they do struggle is they struggle for parts. So so they struggle to find the parts. Because these are really old planes now, and they're struggling to get these parts. Yeah, and the whole thing looks like it's run on an absolute shoestring budget, really. But yeah, still a fascinating watch. They do cargo to these really remote sort of settlements and things like that. And one of the fascinating things was, which I noticed, when they trained the pilots, was they got like a simulator sort of setup. And to be honest, what I'm sat in front of today is probably more advanced than what they had. But I mean, that was a good few years ago. And obviously, Microsoft Flight Sim wasn't out then. But yeah, I'm not sure what sort of program they're kind of flying on. I mean, it probably could be Flight Sim X. I mean, I never played it, but I mean, I know what it looked like. So yeah, I mean, imagine when you look at the top airlines, the Emirates, the BA, whoever, they're training their pilots on big simulators where you sit in. They've got motion, everything like that. But yeah, good old Buffalo. They don't have that those access to those sort of resources. They probably did, but yeah, I mean, I was amazed at the size of their fleet as well. It's quite large actually for what is considered a small airline. But they do other services as well. They do like fire suppressing and things like that. But yeah, no, they got helicopters as well. I think they got 57 aircraft in their fleet, but obviously in the TV show you don't sort of see that. Then he showed the DC3s, the modern Electra. But yeah, I mean, as you go from that, it is a really good, insightful watch. Obviously, if you're into your flying, you wouldn't be watching this if you weren't into your flying, would you? So yeah, definitely do give that a go. I think over here in the UK it's on Amazon Prime. Over in the States or anywhere else, it might be. I don't know. But yeah, have a search around for it, because you'll definitely enjoy it. And if you're enjoying these videos, if you want to just click that subscribe button for me. We're only 2 off 100 now, which is one of the goals I set myself when I restarted the channel in about March. So yeah, if you could, was it February, March, January, I don't know, but at the start of the year I restarted the channel. So yeah, if you could just drop us a subscribe, that'd be great, and thank you for your support. So yeah, with this current one, I haven't got the Buffalo livery, but their liveries are sort of green. So this was the closest one I could find on this mod, so I was like, yeah, right, I love that. And yeah, it's not the fastest, as you can see, this aircraft, but it's certainly unique. First propeller powered aircraft that I've ever flown on Flight Sim. So yeah, certainly is unique. It's very hard to control this, but we are going very fast for this anyway. there's a lot of that. I mean, all this is I'm not sure if this is like an ice road during like the winter months, but I think there was a thing, if it goes lower than minus 30 or 40, there was one episode where they weren't allowed to fly at all, so they had to wait for like, the temperature to drop like a little bit before they flew again. But can you imagine? I mean, just being you're a brand new pilot, you've qualified out of your flight school, you're hoping to get a job, get your hours up, and you're working as a ramp hand. I mean, no disrespect to the guys who do that full time. I mean, but you'd want to be getting stick time. You'd want to be, at the helm and in control. But yeah, and then you find yourself like loading up planes and things like that. And these planes, they're great. I mean, look at the fact that they made it all the way through World War II and things like that, and yet they're here. They're in this. These people are using them for like transportation of passengers and things. And you think, how are they still flying? I mean, personally, they've had very few incidents, but I mean, personally for me, I wouldn't fancy getting on one, to be honest. But it's each their own, and I suppose for a lot of people, it's not really a choice. It's something you have to do to commute or get your family up in that way or whatever. This is really one of the only modes of transportation. I wasn't totally sure if they had many competitors. It never really looked like that there was anyone who did what they did. Yeah, no, we're pushing this plate to its absolute limits now. It's shaking around a bit. I do want to sort of do this flight again, but I don't know, just with a more sort of stable aircraft. Because this isn't too great. This one. It's more the mod rather than the actual plane. I think it looks like I think we had a look earlier into the cockpit. It looks very much like it's been converted. And it looks very small as well, which I'm sure it's much bigger in real life. It does sound good as well, the old propellers going around. Great stuff. Yeah, so let me know in the comments as well, what do you want to see me fly? To and from where? Etc. Because I'll go most places. And if the aircraft's available on a mod, or you can buy it or whatever, then yeah, I'm definitely open to seeing that. Very much looking forward to what Flight Sim have got in store for us soon, because they are releasing some new planes, hopefully. The planes I want, the proper Concorde, which we do talk about a lot on the channel, and of course I think it's the MD-11 or 10. Hopefully it's coming soon, which I cannot wait to get my hands on that. Stick a FedEx livery on it and we'll go everywhere. That's going to be amazing. You look at the details. If you're looking to get into flight sim as well, it can be quite pricey, but I'm looking to hopefully do a budget video soon about how I because I've got quite a cheap PC, and as you can see, it's running alright. The settings are good. I was going to look at running it at max settings, where you can get it from, and yeah, things like that. What cost me probably more was like the flight stick and the thrust levers and all that. But of course, I've got a steering wheel as well for when I do the racing stuff. So yeah, I'm altogether probably probably under £1,000. Is decent. Probably about 800 quid, which is not bad. You can do it cheaper, but I wanted to have, a good standard of, say, flight stick, a good steering wheel. That was quite important for me, because you're going to be using it a lot. You don't want things to break. I want it to be good quality as well. Quality products. So yeah, we're not too far now. We're at an alright pace. Trim as well. Trimmed down a bit to get a bit of speed. Get the aero working on this. You're quite fascinated by that wheel at the back. because when we did a side view, you can see like sort of the landing gear. It's stowed, but it doesn't look too. It's like it could drop out any time. I think in Ice Pilots, they did one of the planes. They had to drop the gear manually, so that one of the pilots had to go back there and sort of press like a lever, push them out. For like the two sort of wheels at the front, and that's I mean that's I guess how it was back then. But, I mean, to be doing that, so this era, which I'm pretty sure they're still flying in 2020, it's incredible. You look how far aviation's come and all the advances. I mean, in this and in the series, they were using a actual sat nav to get to where they needed to go. I mean, you imagine that. I mean, look at now. I mean, all the onboard instruments. The planes pretty much line themselves up and fly themselves there. But this is manual. I mean, this is proper flying. If you can fly something like this, you can. I mean, you can fly anything. You can fly an A320, 380, any of the Boeing stuff, or the modern stuff. Anyway, it's just incredible. This is pure flying. It's like flying in, for a local club or, something like that. Yeah, see, look at that. If you just look under the propeller, look, there's the sort of gear. Okay, so speed's kind of climbing quite worryingly now. I've actually come off the throttle completely. There's a major glitch with this, or whatever. Look how long we went as well without any ATC. But, yep, the faster this thing gets, I mean, it's basically out of control now. It's all over the place. I've come off the throttle. I'm not certain this is going to. Oh, this is going crazy. I might just have to skip us to the landing. Yes, I can. It's climbing wildly. We'll be in space soon if this keeps on. Correct altitude, yeah, I know, mate. Yeah, look at that. It's going like Concorde speed. I think we're just gonna have to skip to our landing. Okay, so here we are. Very unpredictable at the minute. Absolutely all over the place. Still, we're going too fast for this. Yellowknife. Trying to put the flaps down. So let's see if we can put it on the ground. Oof. Oh, no. On the ground. Sort of. Okay. Not a great land, but I'll take it. Thanks very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.